You won't believe what happened when a doctor went above and beyond to save a woman's life, only to face her outrage the moment she woke up. Meet Dr. Anderson, a compassionate physician dedicated to helping anyone who comes through his doors, no matter the circumstances. One night, a woman named Karen is rushed into the hospital, unconscious and in critical condition. Dr. Anderson and his team work tirelessly, performing a life-saving operation just in time. But when Karen opens her eyes, she's anything but grateful. Instead of thanking the doctor who saved her, she's furious. What could possibly make someone react this way after being saved from the brink of death? Stay tuned to uncover the shocking twist that will leave you questioning everything. This story is one you won't want to miss. Karen's furious reaction left the entire room stunned. The nurses exchanged confused glances, and Dr. Anderson, still catching his breath from the intense surgery, couldn't believe what he was hearing. "What did you do to me?" Karen demanded, her voice filled with anger. She pulled at the IV in her arm, refusing to calm down. Dr. Anderson tried to explain, his voice calm but firm. "You were in critical condition. We had to act quickly to save your life." But Karen wasn't listening. Her eyes darted around the room, her frustration growing. She accused the medical team of violating her rights, though she wasn't clear about why she was so upset. Everyone was left wondering, what was Karen hiding? And why did her rescue seem to make her angrier than grateful? Something wasn't adding up. Karen's accusations grew louder, drawing attention from others in the hospital. "You had no right to touch me," she shouted, glaring at Dr. Anderson. He stayed composed, but the confusion on his face was clear. He had done everything by the book. Saving her life was his duty. What could she possibly be so upset about? One of the nurses, Sarah, tried to intervene. "Karen, we only acted to help you. If we hadn't, you wouldn't be here right now." But Karen wasn't ready to listen. Her anger seemed to go beyond the situation, as if she was carrying something much deeper. Meanwhile, Dr. Anderson couldn't shake a strange feeling. Karen's hostility didn't match the relief most patients felt after surviving a close call. Was there more to her story than she was letting on? Something felt off, and the answers weren't coming easily. Karen's shouting had drawn the attention of hospital security, who stood nearby, unsure if they needed to step in. Dr. Anderson, trying to stay professional, asked gently, "Karen, can you tell us what's really bothering you?" "We only wanted to help." But her glare didn't soften. Instead, she clenched the blanket around her and muttered, "You've ruined everything." The words hung in the air, thick with mystery. Dr. Anderson exchanged a quick glance with Nurse Sarah, who whispered, "What does she mean?" Could this be about more than the surgery? Karen's anger seemed rooted in something far deeper than the hospital room. Her hands trembled as she tried to sit up, scanning the room as if expecting someone or something. She hesitated, then snapped, "You shouldn't have saved me. You don't understand what you've done." Dr. Anderson's heart sank. What had they unknowingly uncovered? Dr. Anderson felt a chill run down his spine. Karen's words weren't just angry. They carried fear, almost like a warning. "What do you mean?" he asked cautiously. Karen avoided his gaze, her expression shifting from fury to something darker. "You've involved yourself in something you shouldn't have," she said, her voice trembling. Nurse Sarah tried to lighten the tension. "Karen, you've been through a lot. Maybe you're feeling disoriented." But Karen shook her head. "You don't get it. They'll come for me now. And for you, too." The room fell silent. Who was they? Dr. Anderson leaned in, his concern deepening. "Karen, if someone is threatening you, we can help. But you need to tell us what's going on." Karen hesitated, then whispered, "Saving me put a target on all of us." Suddenly, alarms blared down the hall, and the lights flickered. Something was happening, and it wasn't just inside the room. The alarms echoed through the halls as chaos erupted. Dr. Anderson bolted toward the door, but Karen grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "You can't leave," she said firmly. Her eyes were wide with fear. "They're here." Before he could ask who they were, the hospital's emergency power kicked in, casting a dim, eerie glow over the room. Security rushed past the door, shouting orders. Dr. Anderson turned to Karen. "If you want us to help you, you need to explain, now." Karen's voice broke as she confessed, "I wasn't supposed to survive. They don't let people walk away. They erase anyone who knows too much." The pieces clicked into place. Karen wasn't just a patient. She was running from something, or someone, dangerous. Suddenly, heavy footsteps approached, and the door creaked open. A tall, shadowed figure stepped inside. Dr. Anderson braced himself, but then the figure spoke. "Doctor, you need to come with me." The room froze. The stranger's calm demeanor clashed with the panic surrounding them. Karen screamed, "Don't trust him." But before anyone could react, the figure handed Dr. Anderson a file, his name written across the front. The doctor stared, confused. The man leaned in and whispered, "You saved the wrong person." Dr. Anderson's heart raced as he opened the file. Inside were photos, documents, and medical records, all pointing to Karen's connection to a covered organization. The stranger's voice was steady. "She's not who she said she is. Saving her has put you in danger." Karen shouted, "He's lying. They're trying to silence me because I escaped." Tears streamed down her face as she begged, "Please don't let them take me back." Dr. Anderson looked between the stranger and Karen, unsure of what to believe. Finally, he stepped in front of Karen, his voice unwavering. "She's my patient, and I won't let anyone harm her." The stranger hesitated, then gave a nod. "You've made your choice. Be ready for what's coming." As he disappeared, Karen whispered, "Thank you." Dr. Anderson knew their lives would never be the same.